G'day, I'm Blxz and welcome back to Geneforge 5. After quite a long time of sort of dicking around and doing other things, we're now heading up to Kazukius. Time to continue the story and see what the Dracons want with us. They learned to plow. There is a young servile here. He has sharp eyes, an easy smile, and an aura of self-confidence. It's always very easy to tell the serviles who were born and raised completely out of shaper control. He says, "Hello, visitor. I am Learned Plow. I've been told to greet you when you enter. I will take you to see Goldring. Please, follow me." Why are you called learned? I'm a sage. I study the history of our people, and it's important to understand the mistakes of the past, mistakes of humans and serviles alike, if we are to avoid repeating them. He sees you're about to speak and stops you. No, but we are both busy. I do not have time to discuss these things. Goldring is expecting me? Yes, as I understand it, your progress across the wastes was tracked, and of course, you were seen as you approached the city gate. Very well then, lead on. Yes, our leader awaits. Learned Plow points to the east. Okay. At last you enter the Kazukius, the subterranean city of the Dracons. It is a massive place, almost overpowering. Only frequent exposure to the mighty cities of the Shapers keeps you from being filled with awe. The first thing you notice is how hot it is. The Dracons must like heat. They are doing something to keep this place a humid inferno. It immediately makes you feel a little faint. The Dracons like it. The humans and serviles you see are on guard. On the other hand, look miserable. You also see that this place was recently constructed. The huge stone blocks lack the moss, wear and stains that come from centuries of occupation. The Dracons made this place recently, and quickly, to provide a command centre. This is currently the heart of the rebellion, the centre of rebel power and leadership. You can feel the might of the Dracons weighing down upon you. Well, I think this will probably be the last faction, although it has been indicated that there may be other factions out there that I haven't found yet. So, who knows, we might find more. For the time being, I think we need to be very careful about what we do. Okay, I assume this is it. I don't want to anger an entire faction against me just yet. You step into Goldring's hall. In the centre, Goldring is waiting for you. He's one of the oldest Dracons. He is almost definitely the most powerful. He is taller than most of his kind, and he has been augmented many times. His scales are smooth and flawless. They almost seem to gleam. His cold eyes betray no emotion you recognise. He stands here in his home, surrounded by a ring of defensive pylons. If this is a trap and he means you ill, you have little chance of surviving a confrontation with him. When he sees you, he smiles, showing 2 rows of razor-sharp white teeth. His voice is so deep and loud you can feel it in your chest. "You made it. At last. I have been curious. Step forward. Let me evaluate you." Okay. As you approach Goldring, you start to feel faint. He is so huge, so charged with power, that the urge to cower and sniffle is almost overpowering. But this is a trick you're familiar with. Shapers long ago learned that projecting a little bit of power does wonders for intimidating the outsiders. You stand up straight and ignore it as best you can. Goldring inspects you closely. There's a long pause while he examines you, your equipment, the way you carry yourself. He nods. "So, this is the toy the Shapers are squabbling over. But not a toy. A tool. And a useful one. I am Goldring, mightiest of the Dracons, master of the rebellion, lord of Kazukius. And I have summoned you here." Why have you called me here? "I wanted to send a message. It has been taken to General Alwyn, and since I had heard about you, I requested for you to come and fetch the message, to see what the fuss was about. 2 purposes in 1 act." You watch Goldring closely, trying to determine what he really wants from you, or, for that matter, if he knows who you are. The Dracon's eyes betray nothing. How did you hear about me?" "A powerful, unidentified Shaper, coming from out of nowhere and acting as an unallied agent? This attracts gossip. We have learned, time and time again, that even a single Shaper can have a great effect on the world. Okay, what is the message? Goldring ignores the question. He looks at one of the defensive pylons and asks absent-mindedly. There has been a lot of gossip. Rumour. I am curious. You've had time to wander Terrestria? To rebuild some of your psyche? How did he know about your memory? To judge what you have seen, where do your sympathies fall? With the Shapers? Or with the Rebels? Well, I'm not a loyal servant of the Shapers, that would be a lie. I've not come to sympathise with the Rebels, because that would also be a lie, and I don't particularly align with them. 3 or 4? Well, I've still not decided, I'll be completely honest. I have still not decided. Not decided? Or have you just managed to keep from seeing the truth until now? The Shaper way is not just, and it is not sustainable. Put this rebellion down, and you merely plant the seeds for another. But then, a closer look at us might show the power of our army and the justice of our cause. His voice trails off. He is considering something. What is it? I have come to a decision. Alas, you must stay with us for a time longer. You notice how crisp Goldring's speech is. There is no trace of a lisp. He also seems far less arrogant and bloodthirsty than many describe him. And yet... I apologise, but my message for Alwyn is not yet complete. It will be soon. We have guest quarters. It will be more comfortable to one of your kind. He waves to the northeast. Go there. Return tomorrow. I will be ready to speak with you then. There's something else I'd like to know. And there is plenty of time to talk tomorrow. Go now. I must consider the words of my message carefully. He waves you away. You decide it would be unwise to irritate him. Considering it's probably taken me, a week or something to traverse across that desert. It would have been nice if you thought about the message already. But whatever. Probably wants to try and invite me to the faction. And, ooh, he's pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. What did he say? Northeast, was it? Or northwest or something? I don't know. They all turned hostile. I know I went the wrong way. You approach the entrance to the Kazukios laboratories. If the nearby obelisk is to be believed, the Drakons do not welcome any outsiders exploring them. Proceeding in this direction without permission could be very dangerous. I would suggest that is probably the wrong way to go. I think he said northwest then. I really wasn't paying attention. And that'll probably be his bedroom. So, do I talk to Learned Plow again? Where do I go now? Learned Plow points to the north. The quarters for visitors are that way. Your room is in the far corner. Okay, let's have a chat with Alec. This servile has set up a small trading post in the corner of the entry cave. He is unwashed and smelly and his robes are torn. He must be a smuggler, entirely unsuited to a glorious fortress like this. Still, some of his goods look very useful. He gives you a smile, revealing grey and rotting teeth. Hi Alec, hi trader. Bring goods from west, good things. How do you get these things here? I smuggler, good smuggler. Know all secrets, all the back ways. The Shapers never catch Alec. What sort of things do you smuggle? Shaper things, tools, book secrets. They kill Alec if they catch their things. They never catch Alec. Where are you from originally? Alec born in servitude, born to carry, to go with merchants. Back and forth through Meratev, back and forth. How did you get away? Servile comes in dead of night to caravan. Free Servile. Takes Alec to Shadow Road. Alec free. But Alec born to travel. Ain't that way. So Alec smuggles. I think you've got a problem, Alec. Are you still here? Still trader? Yeah, many good goods from west. What do you think of Kazukios? He's big, lots of space like that. But inside, Alec no like inside. Alec likes to look up and always see sky. He's good to be near mighty Goldring though. Makes Alec feel safe. He nods. I would like to trade with you. Yes, Alec buys, Alec sells, but Only some things for sale. Good things only for those who swear loyalty to mighty Galdring. Okay, let me see your wares. Javelin, rubbish, possibly useful if I want to make... oh, it's not going to be worth it though. Too expensive, utterly ridiculous. If I can get these for cheaper, I can actually convert them with the Dracon scales that I have, or Drake scale, excuse me, and the Drake scales, and make some money out of that, but that's way too costly. Shaped fiber cloak is, I think that's the same as like the shaped boots and shaped greaves and whatnot, so you can actually make a purified version of that, possibly. But nothing here is, well, nothing's useful to me. Other than maybe the thorns or a javelin if I was a very low level person. What can I sell to you though, that's the question. I can sell the symbiotic cloak. I will not sell that because it may be useful. And I might just get rid of that. One blessing magic is... Nah, I'll keep it for now. Thank you for your help. Yes. Alec, happy indoors here for a while more, yeah? Come wait more good trade to do, yeah? Okay, thanks, Alec. See you later. Who are you? Philida? You meet someone unusual pacing around the entry hall. A human rebel. A mage from the look of her. Most of the human rebels operate in the east and north. They generally aren't welcomed in the Dracon fortresses. This woman is furious. She stomps back and forth, muttering to herself. When you get close, she turns and says, "Look, I'm Philida. I'm a commander. Have you heard?" Then she sees who you are. I thought you lived here. Never mind. Can I talk to you? I've no use for a Shaper envoy. You only speak to those who are loyal to the rebels. Excuse me. She stalks off. Okay, well, thanks, I guess. Who are you? Muttering Dracon and Cressia. Let's have a chat with Cressia. There are two Dracons muttering silently to each other in this cove, well away from the rest of the fortress. When they see you, one of them steps forward. He looks annoyed. "I am Cressia of the Conclave. I have no patience with spies and eavesdroppers. Leave us." I don't know where that accent came from. The Conclave? I'm one of the leaders of Kazukios. Galdring's not the only one who rules here, whatever he pretends. I'm trying to see Galdring. Of course, the envoy bypasses us, because Galdring's the only Dracon who matters to the rest of the world. That'll not continue forever. Something I need to know. Arse, go elsewhere. I'm not done with you. Provoke me further, and you'll pay. Maybe I could have said something different. Nope, guess not. He's not very friendly, but that looks like a friend, or someone. Wouldn't call her a friend, but let's have a chat with Greta. These quarters are provided for non-Dracon soldiers of the rebellion. Although they are humble, there is a full general here, eating a bowl of stew. She's young, but her rank is marked by the insignia on her leather armour. She looks up at you. She looks very familiar. You can't place her face, though. You're sure you've seen it before. Yeah, I saw it in Kaz or something. Maybe in Penta. "Do I know you, General?" She looks at you for a moment and searches her memory. Then she nods. "We have met, though in much humbler settings. I spoke with you in Penta. I am General Greta, of the Rebellion. Have a seat. I can use some company before I return to the battle." I think that that exchange there was sort of meant to represent that there's a chance my characters from the Geneforge 3 game, they never actually, as far as I know, have never identified who I am. But I'm either from Geneforge 3 or 4. There's a lot of references to me being a Shaper who'd gone mad. Where do you serve? In the north. I command on the front with Meritev, holding the line for now, while events develop. From time to time I come south to synchronise our movements with those of the Dracons, and to look for new recruits. Holding the line, why aren't you advancing on Meritev? Haha! It's a secret matter, not one I will discuss. Some things are not safe to speak in Kazukius. So you're meeting with Galdring now? That's why I'm here. I have been here days waiting to speak with his arrogance. He knows I'm here, he just keeps me waiting, so I don't know what I hit there. I tell them where to go, and if I think it's warranted, I put in a good word for them, so they might be trusted. I do not want you to vouch for me just yet, but that is something useful. I might actually be able to use that, because currently I believe I'm, in between episodes, I had a quick chat with Astoria to see if I can maybe do some missions for her without joining her faction. And it turns out I'm too far a shaper to actually do that. So there's a chance here. If Greta vouches for me, I might be able to take a jump to the left, or whatever direction that is, towards the rebels. So I will keep that in mind, but for now I would like to discuss something else. Okay. Tell me about Gazukios. There's the spectacular fortress of the Dracons. It's truly imposing, is it not? Almost, I dare say, shape-alike. She sighs. I've fought alongside the Dracons for a long time. They are not getting easier to deal with. You do not seem fond of the Dracons. Fond? Have you found these creatures create warm feelings? They are cold-blooded in all senses of the term. But they are mighty and fearless, and their hatred of the Shapers is absolute. They are arrogant, but when the war is won, I do think they will share power with the rest of the rebellion. And if they do not, then they'll find themselves at the wrong end of a second rebellion. The Dracons do not realise it, but the power of the free serviles and the human rebels is more than a match for theirs. That is why I work so hard to aid them. Once the rebellion is won, we will all be free, whatever the Dracons say about it. And this is no secret. I've said the same thing to Goldring's face. Okay. Tell me about Goldring again. How long have you fought alongside them? I was trained as an agent in the Ashen Isles, far to the north, birthplace of the rebellion, you know. In fact, I knew Olwen then. General Olwen now. He was a humorless and unpleasant creature even then. We went in different directions. I met the rebellion on those islands, and I joined them. And then came many dark years, and several unexpected victories. I don't like to think about it. All the injuries, the terror, the friends lost. I prefer to think on today, where there is actual hope. Okay, I'm here to see Goldring. So I've heard. Go find Learned Plow. Should be outside Goldring's gate to the east. That hateful creature controls access to the big lizard. Always be on your guard though. Goldring is a dangerous and unpredictable creature. I do not fully understand why he's brought you here. He might not mean you well. Maybe what does it use? Nothing else I can get. Another question. Who do you serve? There we go. In the north. I command on the front with Meritev. I think I already said that. What do you do when you find a potential recruit? This is already read this. I know what's going on now. I would like to discuss something else. I don't want to have you vouch for me just yet. I assume these are my quarters here. Considering I can't take anything, it's probably not my quarters. There's Meccan. Let's have a quick chat with Meccan. There is a servile sitting at this table. Alrighty, I'm back. Bit of coughing fit. There's a servile sitting at this table, writing out some sort of report. When you approach, she stands and turns. You recognise her instantly. It's Meccan, the servile who guided and protected you months ago in Raoul's lands. She looks very pleased to see you. You arrived. You live. She clasps your hand. After all the time in a barracks with you, I came to like you. I hoped you would like me. I'm glad you did. It's good you caught me. I'm only writing a quick report, then back to the field. You going back to the field? That's what I do. I'm a spy for the rebellion. I move among the Shapers. I pretend to be a common, uneducated servile. Sometimes, as you saw, for years at a time. And soon I go out again, and again, until the rebellion wins. Surprised to hear her talk like this. Now that she has spent some time back among the rebels, she's talking like an educated servile. In your travels, have you learned anything about who I might be? No, sorry, but I've learned of someone who might help. Yeah? There's a sage in the Dera Reaches out in the desert south of the Zephyr Oasis. She's said to be able to, how is it described? See things that have been lost. So, some who I trust have said that she has genuine power. I doubt it. And yet, if your travels take you to the Dera Reaches, you might try to find her. So in the white spy, as you're a spy all along, she looks down at the floor. I don't know. We serviles, our duty, our job, it's part of our being. Like, after the first year, I was more a worker than a spy. When you woke up, in a sense, I woke up too. I'd learned all I could about Roll and his work. I had to return. And what had you learned? Was it useful? I learned much about Shaper research, about the sorts of creatures they're creating and studying, some very useful things. And I saw that Raoul only cares only for his own power and wealth. He's not a serious threat to us. We do not need to spend many resources to counter him. It was very useful. Those years of my life were not wasted. I'd like to discuss the rebellion. She shakes her head. I greet you as a friend, but a friend on the opposite side of our struggle. I thought that the risks I took to save your life might result in your aiding our cause. I was wrong. Still, I do not regret it. Okay. Well, thanks anyway, Megan. You've actually been the most genuine rebel that I've met. If I'd met you earlier, I may well have... Well, I suppose if you'd stayed with me, I may well have become a rebel, if there were more of them like you, because the rest of them have been absolute bastards. But I'm here to see Goldring. I do not envy you. Racon's chamber is to the east. Be wary in all your dealings with him. His loyalty to the rebellion is absolute, but his means can be heartless. Going back in the fields. This is very dangerous. If the Shapers catch me, they will make an example of me. The things they do to disloyal serviles in front of other serviles, it's very ugly. Where are you going next? I can't say. Not even to you. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks. Wow, it's an expensive door. If I put on some stealth, some Tinker's gloves, and a Tinker's bauble, it's now down to 4, and I don't think... No, but don't either way, 4 is worthwhile. Yeah, very worthwhile. See if we can get everyone inside the door. There we go. Okay, what have we got here? Banish affliction. Now that is useful. And breastplate. Speed pod might be useful for me. Although I really should be using them. They're not. Most of these pods are not particularly useful. I should definitely start getting rid of them. I suppose let's throw a speed pod up here. I might remember to use it. There we go, that's a bit better. Nothing else in here. Okay, not bad for 4. There you go, not bad for 4 living tools. Do you know what? I think this is a good time to actually end this episode here. I'm going to try and figure out where my bedroom is, and I will... What's the word? Yeah, I suppose we'll continue on next time. I'll come down and see what Goldring has to say. Anyway, this has been Geneforge 5. Make sure to check out on the right-hand side of the screen some of my other LPs that are currently going and ones I've done in the past. Some of them may be of interest to you. And if you do indeed enjoy the content, click that thumbs up button. Maybe mash that subscribe button that's on screen now. And as always, this has been Geneforge 5. Take care, and I'll see you next time.